Kabir Mahal. Come on, keep it going for him. Come on. Keep smiling, baby.
Thank you, everyone. So straight to it. I have a stutter. Does anyone else here have a stutter? No? Well, my therapist always wonders why I feel so alone. For those of you that don't know, there are really two types of stutters. The first type are repetitions, like the world's worst DJ. The second type are called blocks, where you try to say something but nothing comes out. And if you wonder what that feels like, I'll tell you. Imagine going to an Indian buffet and you have way too much chicken tikka masala. And I'm talking about like way too much. And there you are 3 hours later on the toilets. You're scared, you're sweating, and you're asking God for salvation, but there's none to be found there. You're all alone. You're all alone. You know what you want. You want it outside of you. But Jesus, titty fucking Christ, that is stuck up there like a light bulb after a sex accident gone wrong. It just won't come out. And that's my day-to-day experience. For the most part, people don't really know I have a stutter. I'm kind of on the down low. Not in that way, but, you know, in the other way. And when I tell people about it, I get normally one of three reactions. The first type is disbelief. Like, what? No way. You stutter? That's fake news. And I'm like, that's kind of like having sex with a girl for the first time, and you have to tell her a secret. You know, you're getting a little hot and bothered, you're about to take off your clothes, and you're like, hey, by the way, I have to tell you something. I have herpes. And she says, well, I don't see anything. And you're like, no, trust me. You're going to want to take my word on this one. You know, I got no reason to lie. The second type of thing that people say is that they try to identify with me. They'll say, hey, man, you know, I get it. I stumble on my words sometimes here and there. I understand it. Which is interesting because if you tell someone you have cancer, no one's like, hey, man, I get it. I bawled a little bit. You know, I totally understand what you're going through. I'm like, no, that's not even close to the same thing. But I can't really blame them. At least they mean well for the most part. Some people are assholes, and that's the third reaction. Once I was at a friend's birthday party, and I met a guy named Chad. And as you'd imagine, Chad was a yoga instructor. Namaste. Talked about chakras the entire time. And had the IQ of roughly economy unleaded gasoline. And Chad says to me, don't worry, it's all in your head. Don't worry, it's all in your head. And so the rest of the party, I just stared right at his forehead. And at first, Chad didn't realize what was going on. But eventually I noticed he got a little uncomfortable. And I noticed his eyes were pleading with mine to please make eye contact. But I held strong. I stared at right, left fucking forehead. And so eventually, Chad breaks, and he says, hey, man, I'm feeling really uncomfortable. What's going on? And I said, don't worry. It's all in your head. But Chad's not even the worst kind of person. The worst kind of person are actually speech therapists, of which I think we have a few here today. All right, calm down, you self-important assholes. It's about me, not about you. Goodness. You see, the thing about speech therapists is that they all think they're like Deepak Chopra, very wise, very with it. But they're more like Dr. Phil. They'll say things like, awareness without action is useless. Like, did you get that off a fucking fortune cookie? What are you talking about? I'm aware that you're useless. Is that the same thing? And that's not even the worst advice I've gotten. When I was a kid, some therapist told my parents, if you want him to get over stuttering, simply never talk about it. Because we all know not talking about our problems is the right way to solve all those things. It felt like a little how I imagine Trump felt like when he made Stormy Daniels sign the NDA. You know, he's like, you fucked me once, and we promised not to talk about it, but something tells me you're gonna fuck me again later. You know, it's like there's that feeling he has in the back of his mind. But they're not all bad. Someone's all about Stormy. All right. But they're not all bad. You know, I met a guy named David. He's a therapist, and he understands me. He also has a stutter. And he said, you know, you should go to a stuttering meetup. Meet people like yourself, and so I went. And man, that was a trip. The first 3 hours were spent just introducing ourselves and stuttering at the same moment. Everyone saying, hi, I am like a fart dying in the wind. It was really a very long event. But it scared me. It scared me. I was like, man, seeing these stutters that were so severe was overwhelming. And so I said, David, what is this about? And he says, Kabir, what you're feeling is simply a reflection of how you feel about yourself. Isn't that so powerful? And I thought about it, and I said, fuck no, that sounds horrible. I felt like Neo from the Matrix, all powerful, yes, but wasn't life a little easier when I just hated myself in private? And so I said, David, what can I possibly do to fix this? You know, I came here with one problem, and now I have two. What can we possibly do? And he leans in, and he says, I have the perfect solution. And so he charged me double.
Thank you, everyone. That's me. That's my time. Thank you. Come on, keep it going for your man. Oh my God, so fun!